Welcome back, everybody, to the Detroit Lions franchise here on Madden 20. First things first, in today's episode, we're going to be looking at contract extensions. And there are many starters and many key players who are due for new contracts this offseason. And we're going to have to start paying some guys quite soon. They include running back Kerryon Johnson. 5 years, $27.4 million for the young tailback, coming off a nice performance last week against the Bengals, his best of the season. And as long as he can stay healthy and as long as he can avoid the fumbles, he's one of the best backs in football. And he's not the only re-signing the Lions are going to make. Interior offensive lineman Frank Ragnow has been retained on a similar contract, but for one less year. 4 years, about $29 million. So the top two picks in 2018 are back on long-term deals. And the Lions will be making their first trade of the year. It's not a big one, but it does make some sense. Jalen Myrick to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for Equanimeous St. Brown. The Lions have depth at corner. Myrick isn't needed. The Eagles could use another speedy corner, and that's exactly what Myrick is. And for us, the receiving core there's not a lot. Juju's out. John Ross is out. All we got is Golladay, Freddie Bonner-Sanders, Travis Fulgham, and Dwayne Stuber. 4 is not enough. There needs to be another guy, and that's why the Lions are acquiring Mr. St. Brown. And then they're also going to be stealing someone off of their divisional foe, the Packers practice squad. Defensive tackle Donovan Streets is now on the active roster, and Silas Stork, the former undrafted quarterback from Notre Dame, will be released from the practice squad. And wide receiver Jose St. Louis will be moved to the practice squad, which is in part why the Lions traded for Equanimeous St. Brown. And then the next guy I want to talk about is none other than Mr. Gappy Galladay himself, Kenny Golladay. His X-Factor ability is max security, and this doesn't seem like a Golladay ability. Kenny Golladay is more of a big play type of guy, and you see his superstar ability, Matchup Nightmare, makes more sense for him. So, it is possible to change X-Factor abilities. What you gotta do is you gotta change the player's depth trait. So, I moved Golladay to Superstar, and then moved Golladay back to Superstar X-Factor. So, that's what I ended up doing here. And it's sort of a random draw of which X-Factor ability you get, and we ended up getting Mossed. And the max security one, I felt that one was too basic. This one almost feels a little bit too OP. And then our tight end, TJ Hawkinson, he has max security, but that makes more sense for him because as a tight end, you got to be that safety blanket for the quarterback. Hawkinson's not usually going 30 yards downfield like Kenny Golladay is sometimes. So that's why I went with that move. But who knows, maybe we change the Golladay ability again because maybe it's a little bit too cheesy. As we've got some Week 4 NFL action. The home opener here for the Lions, about damn time. And they're going to be taking on the Minnesota Vikings. These two teams faced off 2 weeks ago. Minnesota got the win. They're 2-1. Lions 1-2, coming off a dominant victory in Cincinnati. Let's go first quarter. 3rd and 5. That ball is picked off by Amani Oruwariye. And the Lions will quickly get the football. As you can tell, this game was quite sloppy throughout. And here is Tez Lawson and the boys. Lawson won his first start as an NFL pro last week, and he's scrambling like he's late on a date. And he is unable to outrun Ben Gideon, who gets the sack. Gideon played his college ball here in Michigan, by the way, as now it's a 3rd and 7. Here's Tez Lawson, the real T-Law in the ACC. His pass is incomplete, and he's a rookie. He's going to make throws like that. That'll send the field goal unit out. Matt Prater has been perfect this season, and obviously that's not going to stop anytime soon as his kick goes right down Main Street. Lions up 3-0. So here's Minnesota. Phillip Rivers, of course, is their quarterback, and he fumbles the football. Jelani Tavai with the force, and Shaquem Griffin almost took it to the house had Trey Flowers not been on top of him. So, 3 minutes into this game, and the Vikings have turned it over twice against a defense that, through 3 weeks, has 2 takeaways all season. A pair of pick sixes last week against Cincinnati. And now they have 2 here, and then Tez Lawson with his first career rushing touchdown. Lions with a quick 10-0 lead. So the Vikings just have to focus on protecting the football at this point. And Jared Davis makes the play on Dalvin Cook. He gets hurt. Luckily for Detroit, he'd return a couple plays later. As you can see, he's already back in the game. 3rd down, Rivers. He's going to almost get picked off again. That was an easy pick 6. If he just held on to the ball. The Lions do get the football back. Here's Tez Lawson with a pigskin over Kenny Golladay. And when these two teams play, you're going to get about 4 forced fumbles from Harrison Smith. It's just accustomed at this point. Everson Griffen picks that one up. And then here's the young field goal kicker Malone trying to cut this lead down to 7. His kick would be good. The Vikings now only down 10-3. But already 3 turnovers in this game, and that's not all. There'd be plenty more, so stick around as Tez Lawson throwing off his back foot and is picked off by Kirby Sanders. Bad throw from Tez, as Sanders was the very first player in the entire series to get drafted #1 overall in 2020, and he's developed into a really good player at that cornerback position. So the ensuing Vikings drive, there's Jarrad Davis with the sack. Lions get the football back. Still in the first quarter, it's been quite an interesting game to say the least so far. A short pass for Hockenson, and he fumbles it. Harrison Smith with his second force of the game. Anthony Barr picks it up, and we are tied up as Anthony getting that hottie from a bar. And the Vikings have cut the deficit all the way. So the Lions' offense needs to get onto a little bit of a groove. There's Hockenson. He doesn't fumble it that time. And then third down from the 39. Here's Tez Lawson looking to throw it again. He's scrambling like he's late on a date. Has an open man deep. That's Kenny Golladay, who almost got the touchdown had he stayed in bounds, but still first down conversion nonetheless. And then to beat the buzzer in the first quarter, Lions trying to make it 17-10, and they would end up doing almost that. Tez Lawson is sacked by Kirby Sanders. Big first quarter, as you can see, for Sanders, and the score would remain at 10. On to the second quarter, Tez Lawson, he is hit as he throws, and he gets it to Kenny Golladay. Luckily, there was no throwing of helmets at the end of the play. Looking at you, Myles Garrett. And the Lions would they'd actually take the lead. Kenny Golladay would also probably brick the 3 throws since he's a professional football player, not a basketball player. And the Lions now up 17-10. Ensuing Detroit possession. There's the rookie linebacker from Illinois, Gregory Watts, with the sack. Now a 3rd and 22. As Lawson, short pass for Bonner Sanders. Questionable play from Lawson, but it does the job. As FBS gets the first down, the former Texas Longhorn Hook'em Horns. And then from the 48-yard line, very next play, Lawson is sacked by Danielle Hunter, as that's Akeem Downing allowing the sack, the former first-round pick at tackle. And you're not going to win against Danielle Hunter too often. One of the best young edge rushers in all of football. 2nd and 1, Lawson sacked again. This time it is once again Danielle, I don't have a girly name, Hunter. So now a 3rd down and 10. Busy drive for Hunter, but it's also been a busy drive for Tez as he gets it over to T.J. Hockenson for a gain of 21, and Tez Lawson is on a little bit of a groove right now. And then 1st and goal, Lawson tosses the ball over to Kerryon, just like the Lions tossed over a $27 million check his way. And Detroit will extend their lead now 24-10. Lions looking good. Here's Phillip Rivers, sacked by Shaquem Griffin. What a season it has been for the one-handed beast. After getting 10 sacks a season ago, he already has 6 this year. And then Trey better get a bouquet with those flowers, getting the sack on 2nd down. And then 3rd down, the Lions are going to get the hat trick. This time it's Deshaun. Can you feel the hand? So the Lions could make it 31-10 headed into halftime. Wouldn't that be something? As Lawson with a dart for Kenny Golladay. 2 defenders in the area, but it's not enough as Kenny G gets the first, and then Matt Money Prater would make the field goal. Lions up 3 scores, headed into the locker rooms. On to the second half, Detroit looking good right now. Here's Tez on 2nd and 4, scrambling like eggs on a frying pan. He's going to show off the wheels, but when you got Harrison Smith coming right at you, you know that ball's not staying in. As Harrison Smith with his 3rd forced fumble of the game. Not as crazy as when he forced 6 last year. And then speaking of forced fumbles, the Vikings pop out another bottle. And they also pop the ball out while they're at it. Anthony Barr's used to popping out bottles, and he pops the ball out. Vikings would get it, but they couldn't do anything on that drive, so Detroit has it back. And credit to the Lions' defense. They've been on fire. As here's Freddie Bonner Sanders. Nice play from Tez to get it over to FBS as Tez took his time and connected with the open receiver, and then 3rd down and 4. Tez looking in the end zone with a beautiful pass for the undrafted rookie out of Iowa, Dwayne Stuber, for the touchdown. Lions now up 34-10. Big lead. And the Vikings going to try to punch it in, get their first points in what feels like a minute. And on 3rd down, Adam Thielen looked like he got the touchdown, but the refs weren't feeling it. Darius Slay gets the tackle in the nick of time. And then 4th and goal. Obviously, Minnesota has to go for it. You don't really have a choice if you're them. This pass for Stephon Diggs is incomplete. Nice coverage from Chidobe Awuzie and friends. So Minnesota has it back. Dalvin Cook now cooking up some fun. He brings it to the 17. And the Vikings offense made a few mistakes today, especially early. They could have played worse. And the Lions also should have picked that off. Deflected by Awuzie and Diggs. So Detroit has it back, just chewing some clock. Here's Jalen Richard for the first down, pretty much ending this game, ending Harrison Smith's ankles as well. I think we all thought that was going to be a fumble. And then 4th down, Lions just going to kick another field goal with Matt Prater. He obviously makes it. 37-10 is now the score. What a lead for the Lions. Big win against the divisional rival, first home game of the year. Vikings not having some fun right now as Shaquem Griffin gets the sack, putting him at 7 on the year. He has been a man on a mission. And then 3rd and 17, you can't spell intercepted without the D. That's Tracy Walker. He was named the best defensive back in the NFC last year for a reason, as that is his first pick of the campaign. And there's a face mask on the rookie Ivan Holt. But it doesn't matter. Lions won 37-10, and Detroit played well, but this was a sloppy game. The game was a lot closer than the box score shows, and the Lions do have plenty to work on, but the past 2 weeks have been pretty encouraging.